Guys, it's Thomas here, and today I'm going to tell you how you can leak test an aquarium. Basically, make sure a tank is still good to use. Maybe you got a used tank from a friend or family, or you've had a tank set up for a long time and you're just not sure if it's still good to use because you shut it down and stuck it in a garage for 6 months. Who knows what you did? Maybe you have a brand new tank and you're just paranoid like me. So what you can do to start off to check to make sure a tank is actually still safe to use is give it a good visual inspection. So to visually inspect a tank, what you're going to want to do is check the glass, look over the entire aquarium essentially, make sure that there are no cracks in the glass anywhere, but it doesn't matter what panel it is, you don't want any cracks at all. Make sure there are no shell chips, which are just little kind of circular chips that might be on the outside of the tank. They're usually on the corners, especially near the silicone. That would be absolutely awful. And you also want to visually inspect the silicone itself because that's really where a failure is most likely to be if not in the glass. And what you can do to check the silicone is feel the silicone, make sure that there's no silicone lifting off of the glass anywhere, make sure that there are no little divots out of the silicone where it's been maybe scraped away by an algae scraper, and just feel that generally when you push on the silicone, it still feels plush or gummy, because if it gets hard, it may crack or just not have enough flex, and it could have a popped seam as a result when you fill up the tank. So once the visual inspection is done and everything seems to look good, you can move on to finding a space that you'd want to fill up the tank. And this is also a really important part because you don't want to just put the tank on the stand where you think it's going to sit and fill it up and cross your fingers if you don't have to do that. Sometimes it's a lot better to, try to take the tank outside and do it there. So if there is a leak, you don't have an issue. You can also try doing it inside near something like a floor drain in your basement. Again, if you have a leak there, it's not going to be as big of a deal. It's just going to leak out of the tank and down into the floor drain. If that's also not an option for you, then your best bet is really to just grab as many towels as you can, have them at the ready just in case there is a leak, have extra buckets around, make sure you have a siphon hose so that if you have to rapidly take the water out of the aquarium because it is leaking, you've got a place to do that. And having a wet dry shop vac ready is also a great option. So if you have one of those, definitely have it on hand while you're testing the tank to make sure that it is in fact not leaking. As you very well may know, it's also super important to make sure the tank is completely level even when you're leak testing a tank, because the last thing you want to do is damage the tank in any way, shape, or form while you're leak testing it. Because maybe it won't leak, but because you had it on an extreme angle while you were filling it up, you popped a seam or cracked the glass or something. You don't want to do that. So make sure you grab a level wherever it is you're going to be filling the tank and just double check that the tank is actually level. And once you know that it is level, it's time to start filling up. So the best way to start filling up the tank to check if it's going to leak is to do it a few inches of water at a time at most. I like to do about 2 to 3 inches. So I'll fill it up 2 to 3 inches and let it sit for about 5 or 10 minutes. I'll come back and do an inspection of the tank, make sure that there's no water beading on any of the seams. Sometimes leaks are super slow and you'll just see a dot of water sitting on the seam of the aquarium. Check all the sides, check the bottom. Sometimes it's even nice just to have a piece of paper towel and just to dab the sides of the tank. If there is any wetness on the outside of the tank that's forming, the paper towel is going to pick it up right away, and that would tell you that you potentially have a leak. If everything looks good, another 2 to 3 inches, and then again, wait 5 to 10 minutes, 2 or 3 inches until the tank is completely full of water. Once it's full, do another really good inspection. If you don't see anything leaking yet, then the next step is to let it sit for 24 hours. You can come back and check the tank as often as you like. The more often, the better. Just pass by, make sure you're not getting a pool of water sitting anywhere. If after 24 hours you have no leaking, the tank seems to be holding water well, then you're done. That's it. 24 hours is usually a long enough period of time to allow a tank, even with a very slow pinhole leak, to actually express itself in some way. So that would be it. I will say though, it's really important to make sure you're filling the tank with lukewarm water or at least room temperature water. If you use really cold water, you're going to get sweating on the outside of the glass. That's just condensation building up. That can really throw off whether or not you have a leak. You won't know because you could be having some water or some pooling around the tank just from the condensation building up on the glass and running down. So make sure to use lukewarm water when filling the tank. And that's about it. And then you will know whether or not that used aquarium you got or aquarium you put in storage for a long time or whatever it is, brand new tank that you're paranoid about, is good to go. You'll know for a fact and you'll feel good. And then you don't have to worry. And that's what this is all about. Relaxation, you know, tanking easy. Tanking it easy even, maybe? I think? Perhaps? Well, that's it, guys. That's all you really need to know about how to leak test an aquarium in a safe way to minimize any kind of actual water spillage and make sure that everything goes smoothly. And if you have any questions, I'd love to get back to you, so just drop those down in the comment section below. Maybe some of you out there have your own tips for how to leak test an aquarium in a safe way. I'd love to know your thoughts on that. You can also reach out to us on social media like Facebook, or check out our Instagram for some fishy aquarium eye candy. And don't forget to subscribe, because we got cool tips and tricks and all kinds of neat setup videos coming your way. We've got a ton already in the bank for you. Have a look, and as always, keep on tanking. If you have any questions, however, feel free to drop those down in the comment section below. I'd love to get back to you, or you can reach out to and I hope you understood some of that, because I apparently speak an alien language.